consistently attract soulmate clients, begin showing up on brand, monetizing on your calling. Welcome all spiritual coaches, leaders, healers, light workers, and practitioners to a show that turns you on in your business and amplifies your magnetism. I'm host, catalyst, and spiritual business coach Rosalyn Fung, and I'm here to journey with you into the juicy and help you discover where the real gaps are. Ignite your mindset and soul with strategies and systems as each episode takes you to the sweet spot that activates your soulgasmic business. Enjoy this light language activation as we begin to magnetize and monetize. Welcome, my loves. Thank you so much for tuning in. As always, I am so deeply honored that you have chose to listen to this episode. If you enjoy this show, please do leave a review, take a screenshot of this podcast cover, and shout me out on social media so that more people can absolutely tune in. On Instagram, it's Bold Sexy Warrior, and Facebook, it's Rosalyn Fung Coaching Bold Sexy Warrior. You know, it would mean the world to me for you to share and get this out in the bigger way. Thank you so much for your contribution. Now, on to today's episode. I am really excited about this one. And my sense is all the beautiful light codes are going to drop in really deep in this juicy container today. Let me ask you, are you discovering that you're intuitive? Do you ever say some really profound things and wonder, where did that come from? I've never said things like that before, and that was pretty profound. What we're talking about is the power of channeling. And we're actually going to dive in deeper on how to cultivate your ability to channel and trust your intuition. So this episode is all about waking up your magical self through the power of channeling. And I have my special guest, one of my very own soulmate clients, Monica Ramirez, who comes from a family of healers. Her origins come from everything and anything. At the same time in her family, she is an artist. She has learned since a very young age that art is of expressing yourself. And she has been a recognized artist and writer. She has become a Reiki healer in 2000, and that's how her road took her to look more inside. And I know that she's going to share deeper her story today. She's also certified as a minister, life coach, neuro-linguistic practitioner, beyond quantum healer, holistic art therapist, intuitive Reiki master, energetic quantum healer, and a psychic channeler. My goodness, can you tell this is going to be a really juicy episode? And as a transformational worthiness belief coach, she can help you go from confusion to confidence so that you can design the life of your dreams and have freedom and be empowered because you truly deeply love yourself. Monica is founder of the new Soul Talks, which are conversations with amazing people around the world who just want to share their knowledge with the collective. So without further ado, let's welcome Monica. Hi, my love.
Hi, how are you doing, Ross?
I'm doing beautiful. I'm feeling beautiful. I'm feeling expansive, and I just cannot wait to dive deeper. So I'd love for you to share with our audience today just how you came to be who you are today and doing what you're doing.
Sure. I have passed through everything, and now I understand that actually all that it was just training, everything that I have passed through. I've been married 4 times, and of course, all of my ex-husbands were teachers. Now I see that. I had 2 art galleries, and being an artist, I have worked with making people believe in themselves enough so they can actually learn how to express themselves, and not only express themselves, also they can start believing who they truly are, where the calling is at. And like that, I have worked with different kinds of artists, musicians, painters, poets, writers, and so forth. I did that for 20 years until finally it hit me that I was not only an artist, that I was also a coach. And then I started studying all these certifications because I wanted to be prepared so I can have more tools so I can help people. And in the process of believing in themselves, and in the same process, I started believing in myself. That was the main goal, because I learned that the only thing I can teach is things that I can work on myself. And that's the trajectory that I have for 25 years since I started in Mexico, in Veracruz.
Wow, what a journey. And so what inspired you to move towards Reiki and open you up more? Was there a specific thing that happened for you, or was it gradually over time?
Well, I come, like you mentioned before, I come from a family of healers. My sister is a shaman, and she was married to a pipe carrier and a sun dancer. Mario Monroy, he was my Reiki teacher, and that was in the 2000. And that time, I went to all the many sun dances, and I went more into shamanic work. But I felt restricted because I was trying to put everything in a little square. Oh, only shamanic, only this. And when I started trying to do my inner work, because I got really sick. I had lupus, fibromyalgia, of course, horrible depression, and RA, and then I was with epilepsy. And I had to do the change. I had to do something way more profound that I was doing, because or else I was just getting sicker and sicker, and my life was depending on other people, and I was not being responsible myself enough. So I had to do that change so I can heal myself, and I did it. And,
wow.
But it was inner work, very, very deeply and profound, that I have to do. And from there, that's where I teach everybody how to heal themselves, because this is possible. Our minds and our thoughts are so magical that we don't give enough credit to our creative manifestations that we do ourselves with, through our emotions and through our thoughts. That's where there radicates the magic in all human beings.
I'm really curious. And I love how you said we all have the power to heal ourselves. And as I know you as a teacher now, to help people learn how to heal themselves in their thoughts, in their beliefs, and then how that manifests into their life. I'm really curious for yourself, Monica, what were some of your greatest lessons? You know, you have just shared you've been married 4 times, and you see now with this beautiful place of knowing your ex-husbands were each a teacher for you. And so I'm really curious, in your journey, what are some of the biggest takeaways you've learned that you apply very much in your teachings to your students now?
Well, something that I came to understand, that we are going to attract what we think we deserve. Not exactly what we deserve, but we are going to attract what we think we do. So I did that. And I didn't learn it the first time. And we're going to repeat the same lesson over and over until we actually learn it. And in each marriage, I learned, of course, I was cheated, beat it. I pay for all the bills. I was abused in many ways, in many levels, because I did not appreciate enough myself. I did not value myself, and I didn't thought that I worth it. I come from a Mexican culture where the woman is very restricted in so many ways, and I was programmed by my culture, and that I have to act a certain way and I have to be a certain way, and those were just programs that I was needing to bring down so I can become who I become. But of course, taking the responsibility out and stop playing the games that I teach. That's what I teach also a lot to my students, that everything is a game of the ego. And we decide, we have the free will and the choice that if we want to play in those games or not, like manipulation, control, etc., and believing in ourselves and fears. And all those are programs of the ego. And in the moment we can see them, it's like the 12 steps of the alcoholic. If you are not conscious that you're an alcoholic, you're never going to change them. And if you understand that you are responsible of your own thoughts and feelings and emotions, then you can actually transform them and change it, and actually use them, each experience that you had. So like that, you actually can let go and forgive yourself and others. And all this, I didn't realize that I was being guided all this time, that I did a soul contract in myself, and to learn all these lessons to become who I am now. And until I understood it, that each person, and I was just their student, and they were my teachers. And on soul level, we all signed these contracts. So I can learn from each one of them. And that was easier to forgive. And it was easy to forgive me for making those choices and forgive them for giving me the lessons.
That's so powerful. I would say that would be one of my most powerful understandings as a spiritual being, that we are all souls having a human being experience. And in this 3D world, that we are here, and we come into relationships with people for certain reasons, for learning the soul lesson and mastering the soul lesson. Like you said, Monica, if we do not learn the lesson, it'll just keep happening. I'll say for us, although it will probably feel like to us, until we really understand that, okay, we each have a soul contract here, and you're here to help me learn the lesson of, for example, forgiveness, surrender, discipline, whatever that is. And I just love that you shared that, because that's such a powerful, powerful lesson. And I know for myself that when I feel anxious, when I feel fear, when I feel concern and it's more of a negative emotion, I will take a breath and remember that there's something here for me to learn, that life is happening for me and through me, and that this is a lesson, and I got to look for the lesson so that I can really move and navigate through this situation. And it gives me comfort to know that we're here because we also have signed soul contracts. So it's beautiful. Thank you for sharing that. Can you share with us a little bit more about how first of all, let's define, what does channeling mean? For those people who are kind of, they might have heard like channeling, but like, what really is channeling?
Oh, channeling, we are all multidimensional beings. We like it, we want to admit it or not, we are multidimensional beings. And we came here to experience certain knowledge, certain teachings. And basically, when we're channeling, I call them basically, we're translators of energy. It can come to speaking, like right now, and it can come to light language, like we do, like you and me, we do, and many others. It can come to painting. It can come to writing. It can come to dancing. It can come to music. It can come in any way. All the creativity of all the human beings comes from that channeling. In reality, we're always guided, and channeling is basically translating those energies and deep emotions to different languages. That is, it can be through art, it can be through our voice. Light languages, in a way, it can be singing, or it can be also a voice that is maybe in human language, or it might be through languages that comes from the light.
Yeah, I love that definition. And really what really stood out to me when you were explaining this is we are translators of energy. Oh, that's such a beautiful way to explain what channeling is. And we're translating energy all the time. And I love that you gave examples of how we do that. Now, can you also define what is a multidimensional being?
Sure. Multidimensional beings, basically, there's an aspect that is here in this moment talking to you. And at the same time, there's an aspect of myself that is in another dimension, in another timeline, because we're living, time is not linear, like they have explained. Time and reality do not exist. So we're living in different realities at the same moment because our conscious is already expanded. We just have little notice where we are now in this conscience in this moment. So it can be myself, my higher self is myself in the future that at the same time is living through me in this timeline. So my multidimensional being can be a Pleiades, and it can be also a Syrian at the same time living the same experience. Like many people have asked me, okay, if I call Archangel Michael right now to help me and you're calling him at the same time, then it's not going to be with me. It's going to be with every single person at the same time. It's like the same thing as we call God and you call God. It's going to be with you and it's going to be with me. It's going to be with everybody that it needs it in the moment, or we're actually permitted to communicate with them.
Oh, that's so powerful. What a beautiful explanation. So simple, so clear. Thank you so much for that, Monica. When we come back, we're going to go into commercials. So when we come back, I would really love for you to just help us understand a little bit more about how we can start to tune into our ability to channel.
A conscious lifestyle for a mindful life. OMTimes Radio. IOM FM. Being a radio host on IOM FM allows you to build your show on a rich platform with the power of the internet to fulfill your outreach goals and connect with a very specialized and global online audience, unlimited by time and distance. OMTimes Radio will provide you with web relevance, a recognizable conscious brand, and with the standard of excellence that has accompanied every single OMTimes endeavor. Host your show with OMTimes Radio Network.
Life is a flow, and enlightenment is simply harmonizing with the way life really is. Then you find that life is effortless, benevolent, and free of all suffering. Hey everyone, this is GP Walsh, and I want to invite you to my brand new radio show that's launching right here on OMTimes Radio called The Flow of Enlightenment. I've been a spiritual teacher for decades, and my greatest pleasure is being able to share with you these deep and highly practical spiritual ideas. So join me in The Flow every Tuesday at 1 p.m. Eastern and let yourself be transformed.
I'm so not good enough. Fail. They'll judge me. I'm afraid others it's already been done.
Who are you not to fully express who you are, to be your warrior of light and do business from your fierce, aligned energy? I'm Rosalyn Fung, host of Activate Your Soulgasmic Business here on OMTimes Radio. Let's get your business turned on to the next level. I invite you to hop on a business soul alignment discovery call with me at rosalynfung.com and let's monetize in your soul mission. Go to ROSALYN F as in fun, UNG.com.
These are the sounds of a dinner. A dinner that almost didn't happen. A dinner now served, thanks to people like you. Due to COVID-19, 17 million more Americans may face hunger. Feeding America is helping our neighbors in need. And if you're able, you can too. Donations are being accepted at feedingamerica.org/coronavirus. Brought to you by the Ad Council and Feeding America, 200 food banks strong.
All right. Welcome back, my loves. So Monica and I are speaking about channeling. And Monica, I'd really love for you to share your story in the first time you experienced yourself channeling. Like, where were you? What were you doing? How did this happen? What were you channeling? I've got all the questions.
I started writing poetry in Spanish since I was a teenager, and I always heard the voices, and they just came through and just write it down. And later on, when I had my gallery and cultural center, I started reading my poetry, and all the time I was invited, and I was like, but I'm not even a professional writer. Why people are inviting me? And apparently it was touching really deep the message, my poems, to the people. And I was surprised because I never considered myself in that time even as a writer. I was just giving the information that I was receiving, but I thought it was coming to me. Until in 2016, that voice became more profound and more deep, and it didn't show like usually. It was the same tonality, the same rhythm, but it was with a different voice that it was not mine. And I was already meditating 3 or 4 times a day because I was in the process of healing my body. And then I suddenly stopped and I asked, who is here? And then
because you could feel a presence?
Yes, my body was vibrating, and my hair was just electrifying. And then in front of me, I started seeing a silhouette of a being. In that moment, I did not know her name, but it was just a being that it was there. And she started telling me exactly in the same tonality, in the same rhythm and everything, about the poem that I was trying to write. And I was like, wow. Then it's like, it's always been you? And she told me, yes, it's always been me. And then after that, we started actually having conversations that didn't have to rhyme because I was not trying to write a poem. It was just, who are you? Where you come from? And so on. And I did ask in that moment her name, and she told me humans are the ones that need names. Humans are the ones that put hierarchy in all this. But in reality, we don't work like that. We don't need names. And they took me that night to a ship. And the ship, they present several beings themselves with me. And I asked why I am here. I was very confused. I didn't know what was happening. And they tell me, so every time we're your soul family, so like that you can learn about our vibration. And like that, you don't have to even see us. You will know exactly who is coming to talk to you because you will recognize the vibration. And of course, I asked in that moment, do I have my own vibration? And in that moment, I start feeling my own vibration and my own tonality too, like a music tone. And that wake up many, many things on myself. And of course, I went into the process of, I don't believe enough myself. I have to be getting crazy. This is not normal. This is not happening to everybody. With who I express this, or I have to be crazy. And I went through a process in believing more in myself and more in myself until one day she presented.
Hang on, Monica. I really want to highlight this. Just one moment, because you said something so important. And I really want to have the audience really take this in. So if you're really resonating with Monica's experience of her when she first started channeling, and you also heard her say, am I going crazy? You know, like basically, like you're wondering, this is not something that's quote unquote normal. This doesn't really like happen to a regular person, people, right? And so like this is where a lot of will say, quote unquote mental health concerns come in, right? Am I becoming schizophrenic? Like I remember even my brother, he's very spiritually gifted. And this was, goodness gracious, I would say probably over a decade ago, where he he's able to see and he's able to hear, and just him going through this experience, but not having anyone talk about it. He totally shut down because he thought he was becoming schizophrenic. So what I really want you listeners to take in is, you're not crazy. Like, this is a gift, and it's really important to find communities. You know, Monica obviously is a community, my community, where this is the norm. Like, this is the norm. This is who I personally hang out with as friends. We all are channeling with each other. And so then it becomes your normal, and you're embracing your spiritual gifts. So I just really want everybody here, you're not going crazy. All right, Monica, thank you. Just let's continue here.
That is very important to because it takes a lot of all the programs that you hear voices, and you have to be crazy, or you have to be schizophrenic, or all this. Those are all programs. In fact, I have conversations with professionals about this, and there's many possibilities that many people that they're in the mental hospitals, and they went to the doctor and tell them, hey, I'm hearing voices. Immediately they give them medicines or medications, or they put them in a mental hospital. So many people, they are channelers, they're afraid, because we have the persecution history of the world since the witches were burned and so forth in the time in the Inquisition, that we learn to hide all these gifts. And everybody can do it. It's not that I'm more special than anyone. Yeah. Everybody can learn how to do it. It's about levels of trusting yourself, and levels also to bringing down the fears, because the fears are the ones that limit everybody. And a lot of the fears comes from many institutions or religions, or and it comes from generations and generations. And this is what I teach in my classes, how to work with all those fears and levels of trusting yourself, and different ways of actually of channeling. It can come to painting. I do it a lot to my art. I am not a musician, or else I will be writing songs. But I do write a lot, and I do paint a lot. And I do a part of my classes is also what I teach my VIPs, or the class I'm going to be teaching very soon. And that's one of the things is let's learn how to paint channeling, not by technique. I did learn the technique, but the technique, it will put you in your head. It will not put you in your heart. And that's
beautiful. Yes. Put you in your heart, not your head. Yes. And that's really where channeling is sourced through, right? Is through our hearts. We're translators of energy through our hearts, not our minds.
Exactly. And more that we have many distortions, we can receive the same message at the same time. If a being comes right now and talk to you and me, and through our own distortions, our own experience of life, we're going to translate it in different ways. Even if it's the same message, because we all have different levels of distortions or fears and so forth, until we start trusting and truly surrendering to our heart and our connection to that multidimensionality of ourselves. We're not going to get clear that that connection that we're having with the higher being that we are. And we need to also learn how to raise our vibration so we can talk to beings of the higher planes. And they don't like hierarchy. They're all the time telling me that, like, don't call us higher planes. But it's hard to describe in this distortion in 3D higher planes without mentioning higher planes, even if they tell me not to.
And when you say higher planes, just so people can understand, if they're just learning about this, you mean beyond 3D, right? So the 4D world, the 5D world, 6D, 7D, 12D, beyond, correct?
Exactly, yes.
Okay.
I channel usually beings from the 6th to the 12th dimension.
Wow.
And they will go down a little bit, but you have to raise your vibration. So like that, it will be easier for them to communicate. And
how do you know? let me ask you, how do you know what dimension beings you are channeling?
You start feeling the emotions when you start understanding perfectly the conscience of unity and love and peace and light. That's when you start understanding way bigger concepts that are regular concept of let's not manipulate other ones. That's or fear-based conscience. That's a more lower vibration than unity, love, and peace and light.
So let me just make sure we got this straight. So when we are feeling the higher vibration, the emotions and the energy of peace, of love, of joy, that's when we're most susceptible to channel beings of a higher plane. And is it, if we were just to sit in that energy, is that channeling, or is it allowing, it's like more of the act of having something come through in sound, in tone, in words, poetry, story, art? Is that channeling? It's more of an act?
It's one way of channeling. All the arts are one way of channeling.
Mm-hmm.
All the arts are in there, and yes, you start feeling it. You start having the sensation that you feel unconditional love to everything and everybody. And it's not about only saying it; it's actually feeling it deep inside in all your being, and your being start vibrating. And that's how also you will recognize them. How they when they taught me when I went to the ship. They taught me through vibrations, we are going to recognize them. And you will feel the vibration when you feel a being that comes from the highest planes, ascended master, let's put it like that. And you feel it, all your body start vibrating. Sometimes even the windows vibrate when they come close.
Oh, wow. Wow. That sounds really interesting, and I'm like, I hope my windows never vibrate. I'm trying to be honest, I'm not ready for that one.
But you can feel the pressure. It's like going into an airplane and feel the pressure when you're going up and down. Exactly, that's how you feel. It depends on the vibration and the being your is there. And obviously, they never talk trying to put you fear. They're not going to present themselves to a person that is in fear mode because they're going to be freaking out. And that's not the purpose of the beings of light, trying to put us in fear mode. That's the lower vibrations. If they're trying to manipulate you, put in fear, and all this kind of stuff, that's how you can differentiate from a lower being of a lower vibration, or your ego that is a lower vibration, from your higher self that is a higher vibration, because it comes from the future. It doesn't come from a future of 10 years more. We're talking about 200, 300 years more if we put it in time linear, so we can understand this concept.
Powerful. So I'd love for you to share, and we may just do a few steps and then go to commercial and then come back and continue. But for those listeners who are like, well, how do I start? I know you go deeper in your programs when you teach people how to channel, but could you give us a few practical action steps in how to start becoming channelers?
Yes, we have to align. Align is the best way. When we have too many things in our mind and our emotions, we can't hear ourselves or our multidimensional beings. So I will always recommend to take a big breath, close your eyes, relax yourself, take it to your stomach, hold it, and let it out slowly. And you are going to be following your breath going inside, and when you're holding it, you can feel how it swirls inside of you, and you let it out, at least 3 times in your stomach. Then take it to your chest, to your heart. Feel how it goes to all your organs, that breath, and let it out at least 3 times. And then take it to your head, where all the thoughts and all this ego is trying to installing the fears and so forth, and let it out. And you let out all those thoughts that are bringing you out of alignment, and let it out. And when you get to the 3rd breath in your head, then you can then you can ask. They're always listening to us. They're always around all of us. But they have to have the permission, because we have the free will. So they can communicate with us and say, I allow to talk with me, my multidimensional being. I allow to be connected to Source, or to the light beings, or my guides, or my higher self, or whatever, whoever they want to. Of course, we can go more profound with this, to beings that they want to communicate here. But the start is always align. First, center yourself and align yourself, so then you clear your mind and your emotions, your heart and your mind, so then you can actually, from there, you can start channeling.
That is so beautiful, and I know that this is going to be, we'll take this into our meditation in a bit here in this episode. I'm already starting to feel like all the juicy soul codes coming in, Monica, with your soothing voice. So as you're moving, and so that's really how we open up. And I really want to highlight what you just shared is asking for guidance. Like, literally, our guides are always here, and they're just waiting. They're waiting for us to ask. And I think many times, many of us, myself included, forget, oh, right, I need to ask. Like, I can ask right now for their assistance. If you're feeling stuck, ask. Give them permission to come in and be speaking through you and guiding you, giving you signs. This is so beautiful. So when we come back from commercial, we're going to just move into more clarity about how you can work with Monica, what she's got going on, and then she'll guide us through a meditation.
Free your mind. Expand your soul. OMTimes Radio. IOM-FM.
OMTimes magazine is one of the leading online content providers of positivity, wellness, and personal empowerment. A philanthropic organisation, their net proceeds are funneled to support worldwide charity initiatives via Humanity Healing International. Through their commitment to creating community and providing conscious content, they aspire to uplift humanity on a global scale. Connect at OMTimes.com. OMTimes, creating a more conscious lifestyle.
Grab a cup of tea or a glass of wine and tune in for Inspired Conversations with publisher Linda Joy on Tuesdays at 2 p.m. Eastern. Linda creates sacred space for leading female luminaries, empowering authors, heart-centered female entrepreneurs, coaches, and healers. A soulful venue where guests openly share the fears and obstacles they've overcome, wisdom and lessons learned, and the personal journey that led them to the transformational work they do in the world. Inspired Conversations to empower you on your path to authentic, soulful living.
The United States has the highest rate of incarceration in the world. At the Equal Justice Initiative, we believe mass incarceration has to end. There is this presumption of dangerousness and guilt that gets assigned to Black and brown people. We have to confront our history of racial injustice and commit to a new era of truth. There's something better waiting for us, something that feels more like freedom. Truth can inspire change. Please learn more at eji.org.
All right, welcome back. So, Monica, you have a free 3-day channeling challenge called Waking Up Your Magical Self Through Channeling. This is going to be so opening, heart-opening. I really feel like this is going to be a very powerful 3 days for those that come into your container. Can you tell us a little bit more about this 3-day challenge?
Sure. Yes, we're going to start in the 17th at 7 p.m. Central Time. And
this is February 17th or March 17th?
Yes.
Can you be more specific?
No. Sure. It starts Wednesday 17th of February at 7 p.m. and it's going to be 17, 18, and 19 of February at 7 p.m. Central Time.
Beautiful. So that starts tomorrow.
Yes. And we're so ready. And all these materials being channeled, what I'm going to be teaching. And Maria's been very busy. Maria's my higher self, dictating me all this, all what I'm going to be teaching in my challenge. That basically we're going to be talking about the beginning so we can channel, is we need to talk about our beliefs. Because that's where all the programs that limit us, that they don't let us actually believe that we can channel or the voices that we're channeling. And then it comes all the fears that we have to actually work with those fears. So like that, we can channel. Many people are too afraid. This is a common question that I have from all my clients that they're learning how to channel. Like, how about if I bring a dark being that is going to be talking to me? It's like, and that's something that I'm going to be teaching in my class about how to raise our vibrations, how to bring down our fears, how to removing all these limiting beliefs and these old programs that are useless anymore. They were great when we were needing it, but where the new earth, where we're going right now, we don't need them anymore. And right now it should be a norm that everybody comes with an integrated GPS system that is called channeling. But we just do not believe in ourselves enough, and that's something that I'm going to be teaching in this class. And yes, we're going to be, the last day we're going to be channeling our higher selves. So like that, they at least, if they don't sign up, or they sign up in my class that I'm going to be teaching later on, in the 24th of February. That is for 12 weeks. And at least they have the knowledge of how to talk with their higher self. Because I believe that's the minimum that we need. We know how the GPS actually functions and works inside of us.
Yes. Wow, that's going to be really powerful, really powerful. So if you are feeling called, go ahead. The link is in the show notes of OMTimes Radio, as well as on Apple iTunes. You can follow Monica, which we will talk about a little bit in terms of her handles and where you can find her. But for right now, what we're going to do for the next 10 minutes, Monica, is have you guide us into opening up our ability to channel more. So if you can walk us through that for 10 minutes, that would be beautiful. And then let's leave some room to make sure people know how to get connected with you.
Sure. We're going to close our eyes. We're going to get in a comfortable place where we're not going to be disturbed for at least 10 minutes. And we are going to take a big breath. We're going to take it to our stomach. You're going to follow the air. Hold it. And now you're going to let it out slowly. Again, we're going to take another big breath, following the air. You're going to take it to your stomach. Hold it. And you're going to let it out slowly. Follow the air. Again, you're going to take another big breath. You're going to take it to your stomach. Hold it. and let it out. Follow the air going out slowly. Now you're going to take another big breath. You're going to take it to your heart. Follow the air. Hold it. And let it out slowly. Following the air. And feel that dance of the air. Take another big breath. Follow the air to your heart. Hold it. And you're going to take it out, following the air. Slowly. In the next big breath, again, we're going to take it to your heart. You're going to follow the air. You're going to let out any emotions that you have there. And right now, it doesn't help us. And you're going to let it out, slowly following the air. Having this dance with the air. You're going to take another big breath. You're going to take it now. You're going to imagine you're going to take it to your brain. Let it swirl in your brain. And now you're going to let it out. Letting go any fears, any thoughts. We're going to take another big breath. We're going to take it to your head. Let it connect with the pineal gland on your third eye. And now you're going to let it out slowly. In the next breath, you're going to take another big breath. You're going to follow the air. You're going to take it to your head. And let go any thoughts, any fears, any emotions, any thoughts that are limiting you with your ego. And we're going to let it out. Now we're going to ground ourselves. You're going to send your awareness to your feet. And you're going to imagine your feet are the roots of a tree. And we're going to start going down, down, down. You're going to pass through sand, to earth, to rocks, water. You're going to continue going down, 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 down to the center of the earth. And in there, I always imagine a diamond heart, but it's a magical heart where it's pulsing and it's alive. The center of the earth. Just open with love to your roots of the tree. And in there, you're going to anchor those roots. And she, with all her love of Gaia, start sending her love to those roots. And start going up, up, up to those roots. Going up, up to your feet. Up, up to your ankles. Up to your knees, up to your hips, up to your stomach, up to passing through all your organs, internal and external, like your flesh. And start going up to your chest, up to your shoulders and your arms and your hands. And start going up to your neck. Passing through all your spinal cord and all your chakras. And you're just letting go more and more. And start going up to the kind of your head. And you feel that it's like a gelatin and you let it go. And the top of your head. And you're just letting it go like a gelatin. It's melting with your two eyebrows. Your forehead, your nose, inside your nose, your eyes, behind your eyes, your mouth, inside your mouth, and you just let it go. We take another big breath where we surrender in the moment, feeling safe and protected in the here and now. We're safe and protected here and now, in this moment. And now we're going to become aware of the air that is around us. And that air is where all our guides and our higher self is around us, our divine part, because we usually push it out. But this time we're going to bring it inside of us. We're going to take a big breath and we're going to breathe them in. Our higher self, deep inside of us. You can feel, in fact, that energy around yourself that is touching your flesh, your arms, your hands, your face. And we're going to take another big breath and we're going to keep it more inside of us and the more in the surrendering, in the here and now. In the here and now. They just want to make us feel love, safe and protected. They're always here with us, all the time. You can surrender any problems that you have, and you can give it to them. They're here to help. They are not going to intervene unless you ask. You can ask to them to help you in any situation you are in this moment, in any state of mind that you are feeling right now. Surrender to them. More that you surrender to them, more they can help. The limits you put it yourself because you have the free will. And more that you surrender, you will have this clear communication with them. Know that you always love. They're always there with you. And that you always protected. You let them protect you. And you let them communicate with you. And feeling that emotion of peace and love, and feeling with light at the same time, that it invades your body inside and outside. Feeling these deep emotions and with love and protection. We're going to come back to the moment in the here and now. And you can start feeling your legs, your hands, and all your body, feeling more safe and protected and loved.
Beautiful. Let's come in with a light language with this Malacca to support these beautiful souls and the opening of their DNA.
Yes. Let me do light language. Take a big breath so we can anchor this energy. Take a big breath. Breathe it in so you can anchor
Beautiful. Thank you so much, Monica. That was so beautiful. I want to make sure that people can get a hold of you. So I'm going to spell out Monica's name. You can find her at MonicaRamiz, Ramirez. And you can find her on Facebook. And Monica, your Facebook name is called Warrior of Love with Monica Ramirez, right?
Yes, correct.
Beautiful. How else can people get a hold of you?
And also they can look into my website. It's MonicaRamirezWarriorOfLove.com.
Beautiful. And on Instagram?
And in Instagram, as Monica, Yes, it's Warrior of Love 1212.
Perfect. Thank you so much. Thank you so much for joining us here. We cannot wait for you to hop into her 3-day channeling challenge. We'll see you guys there. Thank you so much, Monica.
Totally free. And it's totally free, the challenge.
Mm-hmm.
So they can sign up in the group.
Beautiful. Thank you, love.
Thank you so much.